But I didn't return my Sierra Club survey. For these candidates, they know we had a ton of surveys this year, and it took a lot of time. Some of them were very extensive. And I didn't return my Sierra Club, I hope nobody hears that, my Sierra Club survey, simply because I didn't want to be pitted against agriculture. Agriculture has changed, have we? I thought of something while I was sitting here. I was installing a sign on the 4th of July. And being a farm kid a few years ago, we always talked about corn being knee-high on the 4th of July. I looked across the road and it was over my head. Agriculture's changed, we haven't.
Next, we'll hear from Mr. John Hoffman.
Well, we're overregulated, and the reason we're overregulated is because the legislature enacts laws which the regulators then enforce and put into regulations. So we could go up into every area you want to think of. But let's go back to the tax situation for a moment, since I didn't have enough time. First of all, we'll get rid of the Michigan business tax and change to a consumption economy rather than an income economy. Last year, anybody in Michigan who made over $90,000 in retirement income paid zero income tax. Now, I'm not advocating all retirees pay income tax at every level. I'm saying we need to have a fair treatment of that, though. People that are making $90,000 in retirement income need to help a little bit for the working stiff who's making $40,000 and paying $1,500 Michigan income tax. I think we need fairness in those policies. So we need fairness in all the tax policy. One of the ways to do that is a shift again to this consumption-based economy. Look at the Michigan fair tax proposal. I hope it's going to be on the ballot.
Anybody that knows me knows that I am a big supporter of free market. You know, free market principles can solve a lot of problems. When we put regulations on businesses, it's always to protect the consumers or to protect people. And yeah, we don't want to have sewage running through our streets. There's some regulations that are necessary. But when you look at most of the regulations on businesses, they are designed to protect consumers. They end up protecting the businesses. Usually what happens is we say, well, we need a regulation on this particular product. Who do they call to put the regulation on the product? They call in the people from the corporations, and they say, well, how would we regulate this? Well, the bigger the company is, the more representatives they have on the regulatory board, and the next thing you know, they've written a law to get rid of their competition.
Next, we'll hear from Mr. Eric Tubbs. Okay, so I goofed up. Yeah, I know. You wanted to go on forever. Sorry about that. We'll go to Mr. Justin Faber.
Can't be two good-looking guys like me up here. Not only are we overregulated, we're overtaxed, we're over licenses. I just got my mechanical license to install furnaces in the mail, and it was a $300 license fee. That was one license. With that said, I've talked to many people in the industry, and they used to hold many licenses, whether it was boilers and furnaces and plumbing, and many have cut them because they can't afford them anymore. They can't afford to do business. So now they're dealing with less income coming in because they've been overtaxed, basically. I think that the agriculture has a very smart idea when they have environmentally friendly farms. It's something that you can do voluntarily. And I think when given the choice of doing what's between right and wrong, the majority of the people will do what is right.
Next, we'll hear from Mr. Al Broughton.
The problem with regulations is it is normally set up because there's one problem somewhere, so we have to pass a law to take care of one problem. Well, that one problem is maybe resolved, but it becomes a much bigger issue out there. We don't need more regulations. Most people know what they need to do to make it right. That includes the farming community. There's a lot of different areas out there. You want to do it right. We want to do it right. Regulations, and they're unfunded, educational business. I can't tell you how many thousands of dollars we spend every year on paperwork and so forth. And I really wonder, I want to go to Lansing someday and see where all those forms and who's reading those reports, because I honestly don't get any feedback in it, but I know how much time and effort it takes to produce those reports. Common sense, people, is what it's all about. We need to get back to that, talking with each other and working with each other. I keep stressing that point, and we can make this a better place. Santa County is a great place.
Next, we'll hear from Mr. Alan Lelandowski.